Welcome back to Autism at Home, brought to you by us at Early Autism Project Malaysia through our non-profit initiative, The Hope Project. My name is Joshabeth Isaacs and it's so nice to see you again. Welcome to our 23rd series, which is on preparing for school. Now, going to school is one of the biggest priorities for most families we work with. It's right up there with speech and managing behaviours. While school is extremely important for children, especially to gain academic education, develop social skills, friendships, as well as overall independence, it can present quite a number of challenges for children on the spectrum, particularly in the area of group learning, additional sensorial demands such as crowds, and not to mention being able to learn from a natural environment. Now, before we start on this series to prepare kids for school, we need to ask a few tough questions. Firstly, is school the right learning environment for your child at this point? How we decide this at EAP is firstly based on a child's age. Are they in the golden window to catch up and hopefully close or at least narrow their developmental gap? Ideally, children below 2 years old up to 5 or 6 years old are in this golden window. Then, based on a child's developmental gap, what is the best intervention plan? We typically see a 2 to 3 year developmental gap or even a larger gap when we first start working with a child with autism. This means that in one chronological year, a child has to try to catch up on their existing gap plus the additional 1 year that is passing, as this developmental gap is just widening with each passing year. We have found that it can be quite challenging for a child to close their gap if there is already more than a 3 to 4 year delay, as well as if they are already beyond 6 to 7 years of age. Therefore, in summary, if a child is in the golden window of opportunity of learning, in this case below 5 years old, and has a developmental gap that needs to be closed or narrowed, going to school may not be the best learning environment to maximize their best potential at this point. Now, before anyone starts to get mad at me on the internet for saying that, let me explain a few reasons why. Firstly, school is a group learning environment. This means that no matter how excellent the teacher is not able to give the full one-to-one attention that most children on the autism spectrum need for early intensive intervention. An example would be a teacher gives the instruction, let's all go sit at the carpet, and all the little kids try to cooperate and they toddle over and listen, but maybe our kiddo on the spectrum is still playing with his cars in the corner, refuses to go to the carpet, and so is the teacher or teacher assistant able to follow through and guide the child to sit down, or perhaps they just let or allow him to continue to play his cards just because they're managing the big crowd. Additionally, this also means that there will be a lot of transitions and waiting time. So for example, children, let's do a worksheet, and the teacher guides how to do the worksheet. Now back to what I was saying earlier, does our child have the ability to focus on what the teacher is saying and also the receptive understanding to understand what the teacher means? Or will he just go back to playing with cars because he doesn't really know what to do, and maybe the teacher is genuinely busy guiding another student? And so then this one activity maybe takes 20 to 30 minutes for all the children to complete, and possibly our little kiddo is still sitting in the corner playing with cars for that time. Now, we have worked with many kids in school, and I'm totally not exaggerating, we have seen this happen quite frequently. Lastly, most families we work with want to transition quickly to school because of the opportunity for social skills, and it is a natural learning environment. But we need to remember again that for many children on the spectrum, they are not yet able to learn from their natural environment. Usually because they're still learning how to pay attention, how to focus, and there could be multiple competing distractions. So what we hope for is that our kiddos will notice the other children, walk over to them, sit with them, imitate and play with them. But if our kiddo is quite affected with autism, it is likely that he or she may be upset for different reasons, such as a new place, such as the crowd of kids, such as maybe not getting their way. Or they could even be distracted with the pictures on the wall, the ABCs, the cars, and the whole purpose of them being there to learn from the natural environment could be counterproductive at this stage. And instead of them being able to learn those foundational skills, we spend most of our time trying to help them tolerate or just cooperate. And so in summary, many children on the autism spectrum who go into school too early and without the necessary school readiness skills of support may actually end up doing whatever they want. And this essentially then is totally wasting their precious golden window time of learning rapidly, which we will not get back. And in a 3 to 4 hour period at a school in a group learning environment, a child may participate in tolerating transitions. Perhaps they will do 1 to 2 reading times, 1 to 2 worksheets, have some playtime, some snack time, and some music and movement time. However, in a one-to-one learning time, we can actually achieve all of that in just one 45-minute therapy session, and then provide our children with the practice they need and actually repeat it 3 to 4 times within their 3 to 4 hour block. This essentially means you're giving your child the opportunity to learn 3 to 4 times faster in a one-to-one setting than in a group learning environment. And so, if your child is ready both in age as well as developmentally, meaning a child has caught up, they've closed their developmental gap, then they would be very ready for a schooling environment. And the transition to school will be much more successful. And then this series is for you. But if your child is in that golden window of opportunity, we strongly encourage you to prioritize one-to-one intensive learning to give your child the best chance to maximize their potential and narrow their developmental gap as much as possible in this golden window of time. And so when we talk about transitioning to school, there are 3 groups of kiddos. There are our kiddos who have completely closed their developmental gap, and we're talking about them fully transitioning to school. They may be able to participate in almost 80% of the school's expectations. However, there are some kiddos who may not have completely caught up. They may have a couple of years delay and may still need support to adapt to the school's expectations, especially in academics. And finally, there may be some kiddos who may be of schooling age, but they still need quite a bit of support. Then they may be more successful in a special education setup. We then usually assess our children based on 7 areas of school readiness skills. The first is following rules and routines. There are just so many different rules and routines in school, be it school terminology like recess, assembly, lining up, snack boxes, backpacks, uniforms, and the list goes on. Homework, not to mention all the different transitions from classroom to canteens to toilets, and the list goes on. Number 2 is communication and language. Does your child have an effective way to communicate, both receptively as well as expressively? Is this verbally or more visually? Then, following group instructions. Is your child able to follow instructions and to transition from instructions given in a one-to-one setting to the ability to focus on the teacher amidst other students, amidst distractions, and still follow these instructions? Then fourthly, overall independence. Is your child able to use the toilet independently, eat independently, perhaps pack their bag, follow schedules independently? Fifthly, behaviour regulation. The ability to cooperate in class, have good listening, have good sitting, and not present disruptive or aggressive behaviours towards others. Then the ability to actually learn academic concepts. Do go back and check out our Unit 18 on teaching pre-academic skills, and we hope that our kiddos will be able to learn naturally from their schooling environment. Lastly, peer interaction. We hope to help our kiddos generalize the social skills and peer play they have practiced in their therapy sessions to a natural school environment. Unit 19 on social skills covers this, so you can go back and refer to that as well. Essentially, we want to prepare our kiddos in all 7 areas, but the first 5 areas are our primary focus. And then for academic concepts and peer interaction, this will be ongoing, as we would like to support our kiddos to learn these from their natural schooling environment. We won't really be covering academic concepts and peer interaction in this series, so do go back to Units 18 and 19 for these. And so we hope to be able to go through most of the other school readiness skills in this series, starting with today's introduction. Then next would be transitioning from a one-to-one schooling format to a mock school format. then to following school rules and routines, communication strategies in school, independence, behavior regulation, and lastly, finding a school. And so now it's your turn. Firstly, assess if your child is ready to start the transition to school, or if they are in the golden window of learning, would he or she benefit much more from being in an individualized one-to-one intensive intervention program. Now remember, you can actually conduct that at home on your own as well. If your child is ready for school, then assess your child's school readiness skills based on the 7 areas highlighted in this lesson. Identify the specific areas for your child to develop or strengthen before going to school. Teach these areas and then start preparing your child for school. Well, there you go, a general introduction to our Preparing for School series. In the next lesson, we will be talking all about a mock school format of learning.
Thank you very much for your support, and with the amount of interest we have received online, we have actually started providing online services and currently work with clients in other states of Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Switzerland, Indonesia, China, and Brunei. Get in touch with us for more information by scanning this QR code.
If you haven't already, do check out our online resource platform, Autism at Home, which has all the lesson videos, corresponding articles, and downloadables available for you for free. Stay updated through social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Do click on the subscribe and follow buttons to get more information. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye!